That's the clock tower. Is the clock tower. It's beautiful in there.
Yes. Great. What I love is it's like within a 10-minute window, every single day. Sandwiches.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Like
yes.
rich.
Yeah.
Are they good?
It saves me cooking for myself.
Are they good? Very soon. How much is that?
Yeah. Well, yes. Most the prices are shot up. So you know, looking at about 4.
Oops.
But the red face
Is this the Hilton?
Sorry?
Is that a Hilton?
No.
No, it's not. It looks
Student
similar.
accommodation.
It looks similar to the. It's supposed to be the same like the builders.
Yeah.
They're all looking the same now in Manchester.
Yes. The Hilton, when it was built in 2006, was the highest structure in Manchester. It's not anymore.
Yeah, because they've all
As I say, there's so many others. Okay, again, it's got a terracotta finish on the side of the Salisbury. That was popular because rain could wash away pollution. But into the rivers, 2 of Manchester's 3 rivers ran down here, the Medlock, and all the way down here was the River Irk. Later on they built this road on top of it. And people lived down here. They lived in 3- and 4-storey buildings.
This is Gala on the Move. I'm here with Joe Phi-lie, and he's the guy who has taken us on a walking tour of central Manchester. I mean, as I said in my video before, I've actually driven past here in Manchester many times, and I don't know all the iconic buildings that we've seen today, and he's explained the history of them and exactly, you know, how Manchester has developed from many decades ago, and you know, sort of the poverty and the Irish immigrants and everything. He's got a wealth of knowledge about Manchester City and all the iconic buildings like the old fire building, and the police, and everything else, you know, to do with the police, you know, public services. He's explained it all, and we've seen the iconic buildings where all these you know, sort of came from, or where they started from. So this is Joe Phi-lie, and he can tell you a little bit about himself and what he does here in Manchester.
Okay, so thank you, and thanks for coming along on my tour. I look forward to meeting you soon. Thank you.
Yeah, he's got a wealth of knowledge about Manchester. If you want to come on a walking tour guide in Manchester, central Manchester, you check him out. He is on, I saw you on Facebook. Is it Facebook? I think I saw you. So where else do you advertise your services?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Instagram.
And what's your Instagram's address?
walking-tour-MCR.
There you go. So there you have it. If you can check him out and come and join his tour, it's very, very educational. So we're here in Sackville Gardens, one of the gay gardens in the gay village. That's a guided tour. Crowd over there. Joe is the guide for today. He's very good, very enthusiastic about what he's doing. This tour is about 3 hours long, so come with me. Let's enjoy Manchester and the historic, iconic features.
We also had gay bashing going on. It happened in other parts of the world as well. And sometimes it could be quite terrific. Men could be beaten up for being homosexual or even accused of being homosexual. James Anderson retired from the police force in 1991. Manchester was the first council to support civil partnerships, so a man can marry a man and vice versa with a woman. They were drunk and gay people could get home safely. It sounds logical, but word got around very quickly. There was another 2 hours of drinking to be had, so the whole area has expanded. We've now got over 30 gay venues. This is the main street, Canal Street, and on top of it it's now called On Bar. In 1992, Manto was opened. Manto is a portmanteau of Manchester tomorrow, when it had glass windows. Obviously you could see in and you could see out, and at first the landlady was concerned that maybe somebody might throw a brick through the window, but it became a very popular venue. In the late 1990s there was a television series called Queer as Folk. They popularised the area and a lot of filming took place around here. And now licensing's been more relaxed, and now you can drink till 6 or 8 a.m. and that is just during the week. Void, around the corner, closes at 10 a.m. at the weekend. If that's of interest to people, it's definitely led to other issues, not the gay bashing of the 80s, but as you can imagine it's packed with bachelor parties a lot of the time, or people come here, you know where to go for a late drink. The next thing I'll explain is that huge red brick building in that Alan Turing.
Love a stint.
Yeah, 12 hours of drinking.
You can get up and howl. You like go out at 7 a.m.
Finish your drink at like 8 and then we'll go out tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you know now these guys can't just...
Fancy that. There's a pub which opens until 10 o'clock in the morning, so it's on the whole night, so you can drink the whole day, whole night, and it closes at 10 o'clock in the morning when you can scamper out of there.
Okay. There's a huge brick building built in 1897. During the First World War, it became a hospital, so wounded soldiers were treated in this building. And then from 1920 onwards, it was an all-girls high school. But it also says boys in orange brick there as well, and that's because from 1960 onwards, it was Manchester Central, so it was a boys and girls secondary high school. It's now Sheena Simon campus for the sixth form. It's a sixth form college. You've got to be between the ages of 16 and 18 to attend it. These days, Sheena Simon herself was a feminist from Charlton, and she was the first female member of the Labour Party. In the 1990s, this was a further education college. In other words, you could be any age and attend a course in there. I did a music course in this building. I'm a drummer, so I got free drum lessons. There was another drummer on the course by the name of Sean Kelly. He drummed with a band called Alfie, and on that same record label, Twisted Nerve, he drummed with an artist who calls himself Badly Drawn Boy. His real name is Damon Goff, and he always wears a beanie hat like this, even if it's the hottest day of the year. That's his image. You may well have heard of Hugh Grant. He's a very British actor. He's been in films like Love Actually, Notting Hill and Four Weddings and a Funeral. He's also in a film called About a Boy, and the soundtrack to that was given to us by Damon Goff. One day in real life, he was parked outside a music venue that's still going to this day called Night and Day Cafe. It's on Oldham Street in the Northern Quarter, and Marky Smith got into his car drunk. He thought it was... Vimto does not outsell Coca-Cola in Manchester, but it does sell 6 bottles a second worldwide. And bearing in mind you have to dilute this, this is a massive export. It's been taken on by Arab states. Children that are fasting for the first time during Ramadan, their blood sugar levels can drop. To break their fast, they drink Vimto and they tweet, "It is not Ramadan unless you got Vimto." Certain countries like Oman only drink it during Ramadan, so they stock up weeks before to make sure they've got enough to get them through. Sometimes Formula 1 and Formula 2 takes place in the UAE. When that is the case, you may well see the driver, the winner of the race, drinking champagne from the trophy. It's never champagne in that part of the world, it's Vimto.
Oh, that's news. There you go. You've heard it here. when Formula One drivers, when they won the race, that in the Arab world, when they're in the Arab world, they show them drinking the champagne, popping the big champagne bottle and shaking it and spraying everybody with it. But in the Arab world, it's not actually champagne in the bottle, it's Vimto. So you have it, you've learned something today. It's Gala on the move, we are on the move.
Dance toilet. Schön toilet.
The old phone boxes. I wonder if it still works.
Powers of concentration and depression was another symptom. In the end, he bit an apple filled with cyanide. It's how he died, and we thought it might have been suicide at the time. But some of his family are trying to get this reinvestigated. They're saying maybe the authorities directly killed him. That's a clear possibility. Maybe it was simply a lapse of concentration. He was working with cyanide and he was known for not always washing his hands. Less likely, but still possible. Or maybe he was hiding the fact that he was committing suicide, which was also a criminal offence at the time. That might sound bizarre, but let's imagine somebody had tried to take a drug overdose and failed. They would have ended up in prison. And every night in front of his mother, before he went to bed, he would eat an apple. This bronze statue has been here since the 23rd of June, which would have been his birthday, 2001, and it was built in China at a cost of £15,000. Some people say you get what you pay for, because if you look at the photograph of him, it doesn't look identical. In fact, it could be just about anybody in the world. Maybe they were mass produced. But some people think that Steve Jobs created the iPhone symbol and the Apple Mac symbol as a nod to Alan. That would make sense because it was a bit of an apple. But a few things about Steve Jobs. Number one, he worked in apple farms in his summer breaks. Number two, he's a big fan of the Beatles, and that band set up a record label called Apple. And number three, like Alan, he was logical, and Atari were number one. Just about alphabetically, Apple comes before Atari. Steve Jobs wanted to surpass them, and he clearly succeeded. Can you see that green build? It looks a bit like a chimney from here, from the red building. For a long time, Godley Observatory were based there. So Manchester Astronomical Society would look up to the stars every Thursday. It now lies empty, but they still own Godley Bank. That's a 20-minute train ride away from here, and that contains the third